Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsey Walker and welcome to another weekly crystal reading. So today I'd like to get started with just telling you a little bit more about what this reading is and what this reading is not, since I received a few questions after last week's video. So to start, this reading is for you to get some guidance and some clarity on some questions that you have or areas of your life that you would like clarity or guidance on. When I am giving the messages, delivering these messages from the crystals, it does not have anything to do with the meaning of the specific crystal. So I just wanted to clarify that. In this particular series, I am using the crystals as objects to have a focus point and for you all to be able to practice using your intuition by choosing an object, something in physical form, and then being able to receive the messages that are behind it. So obviously when I'm in meditation before this, I set the intention that whatever messages you all need, that is going to be driven by which crystal you choose. So that is the intention that I'm setting behind this reading when I am choosing each crystal and when I'm reading each crystal. So that is how your intuition is going to be choosing each crystal for the question that you have. So I hope that clarifies things, and I hope that helps a little bit for anyone that was a little bit confused about how this reading works. So today we have two new crystals that I will show you. So go ahead and before I show them to you, just drop into your body, drop into your heart. Think of a question that you would like some clarity or some guidance on. If you don't have any specific question, maybe it's just an area of your life that you would like some messages for. And if you would like to use both crystals, like I said on the previous video, you may choose one crystal for one question or area of your life, and then the second crystal for your second question. You may use it totally up to you. And if you are watching this when it's not at the exact time that I posted, if you're coming back even months later and watching this video, you can just go ahead and use this as just some general guidance and a general reading. It doesn't have to be used on the exact week that I post it. I'm just posting it in a weekly cadence for you all. So go ahead and get your questions set. And I'm going to show you the two crystals. So, like before, so I'll be reading this one first, and then this one second. So you just want to, I'm sorry if my nails are distracting, but just focus on the crystal. Just by looking at them and having your question in mind, you're going to choose if you're going to get a message from this crystal or this one. I'll do one by one, just so you can see them a bit better. And I'll also give you the names at the beginning of the reading. All right, so I'll be reading that one first. Oops, and this one second. So there is it's actually a polished side, sorry. And then a rough side. There you are. All right, so now that you have your questions and you have chosen which crystal you are going to be answered by or receive messages from, let's go ahead and get started. So let's just drop into the energy, drop into your body. Feel your heart. All right, let's get started with crystal number 1. And this one is called the Pink Lemurian Quartz. So another version of a Lemurian. I know last week we had the Dream Coat, and this week is the pink. So whatever you're asking about, if you picked this crystal, it is related to your third eye. So it felt like, it feels like that you feel like you're not getting any messages or direction for your higher self, your spirit guides, God, whoever you receive messages from in the spirit world I got that you feel like you're not getting messages. You feel like you're not getting a direction. So like that's partially why you have this question. You're like, I need messages. I need a direction. Like I'm not getting anything. And it did not feel like you are not getting messages. You're not getting direction. It feels like your ego is actually the one that's blocking it. So when I was in the reading, I actually had to send my ego aside because that was obviously part of the message, and my ego just like kept jumping in, which is very out of the ordinary. And so it really felt like your ego is really clouding your ability to receive the divine messages that you need for this particular question. So it did feel very much like there was just this struggle, forceful energy for whatever you're asking about. It felt very blank. And like that was the energy that I'm getting that you are feeling on this particular question. So if you did choose this crystal, the next time you are connecting to this question, this area of your life, and you are trying to receive information, downloads, messages, trying to figure out which way to go or to make some type of decision, imagine you're sitting here on a chair, and you can either close your eyes or just do it sitting. And when you are trying to make that decision for your highest self, imagine your ego. So you just imagine like your human body, and you just have the intention that this is my ego, and just have it go and sit aside. Sit in another chair, in another room. Just say, ego, you need to go somewhere else over there, because you're clouding my intuition. Now, the ego is not a bad thing, but in this case, it did feel like that was what was blocking your messages and your direction from your higher self. So if you would like a journal prompt for this, unfortunately, this particular question, if you chose this crystal, there is no official journal prompt. It feels like there's just a lot that needs to organically come out. So if you need to continue with this question and you want to dive deeper into it, the message that I got for this is that it would be best for you to just free write. So even if you start with just to write, and you literally just don't pick up your pen, you just keep writing and keep writing. Even if you start with, this is stupid, I don't even know why I'm doing this girl on YouTube told me to do this, and just keep going, and you just keep writing, and you'll just keep going, and you will eventually, once you look at what you've written, if you just let it stream through, set your ego aside before you do it, and just let it flow. Try it out. Let me know how it goes if you chose this crystal. And if you've never free written before, just give it a shot, give it a go, and see what happens. You might really surprise yourself. So that was crystal number 1. And now we are going to move on to crystal number 2. This one right here. And this one is actually a smoky quartz with epidote. So if you chose this crystal for one of your questions, it felt like a very masculine energy and a lot about structures. It didn't feel like an unhealthy masculine. It felt like there was a lot of divine masculine that I don't know if it's that you need or that it's something in your question. It's like you need to pull in the structures, pull in the divine masculine. And it was very connected to your root chakra. So the question that came up was, do you feel like what you're asking about has a strong base? You need boundaries. Whatever you're asking about needs boundaries. It needs a strong base. It needs that divine masculine, those structures. So sometimes the masculine energy gets a bad rap in society these days, because a lot of what we see these days is the unhealed or the unhealthy masculine. With the divine masculine having structures, a strong foundation, a strong base, that's what you're going to be able to use to build on top of. Thinking about that root, if you're a tree and you have these tiny little roots, or they're dead, or they're just, they're not strong at all, tree's going to die or tip over as the base above it gets stronger. So you need that strong base, those strong roots. So whatever you're asking, think about what boundaries that you have or maybe don't have. Where can you add these boundaries? Where can you fill in these energy leaks? So going into the journal prompt, so if you would like to continue the work on this question and dive a little bit deeper, where are you lacking boundaries? With whatever you're asking about, there's something that needs a better structure. Or here's a second prompt. Are there energy leaks in this part of my life? If so, what can I do to fill them up to strengthen my base foundation? You cannot grow with a crappy foundation. It's not going to work, or it's not going to grow very well. You're going to get started, you're going to keep going, and then at some part, if this was all wobbly at the bottom, it's going to topple over and fall. So you might as well take the time now to build out the strong base, to be able to grow and not have those problems later. And that is it for the messages this week. I hope they were helpful. Please let me know which crystal you chose in the comments below. I would love to know. And I would also love to know if these messages are resonating with you, if you're enjoying this. I would love to hear from any of you. I am so happy that you joined me this week. And look out for another crystal reading next week. I will continue to do these weekly. And if you have not already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you do not miss a future video. And I will see you next week. So thank you all so much for joining.